Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to have an extremely short reading vlog because I'm trying something different. So I was planning to do videos where I take you along every single day with me as I read and then just show you the books I'm reading and how much I'm able to read every week and we talk about it. I learned very quickly though that might not be the best option because last week I was not in a reading mood. So I only got through one book, and it was a book that we had started the previous week, so you didn't even get like all of my thoughts on that book in one video. And I would either not film that day, or I felt like I needed to film to tell you what was going on. So it was just like a lot of clips of me being like, I'm not in a reading mood, I read one chapter, and then like 2 clips of me just like info dumping everything because I finally got around to reading. So I felt like it wasn't the most entertaining video. And so I want to try this out and see if maybe this will work better. So my plan now is to just do dedicated vlogs for each book. One, you would get more videos that way because if I do a weekly vlog, that's 52 a year. But I read like over 100 books a year. So you would get either 52 videos or 100 plus videos. So I'm thinking this will be better. Also, it would guarantee that every single video has lots of reading content in it. Whereas you wouldn't get clips of me being like, I'm not in a reading mood, I read nothing, because I'm only going to film while I'm reading the book and giving you my thoughts on it. So I think it'll be a better experience, but we're going to try it. So the first one we're going to try it with is Zodiac Academy, Origins of an Academy Bully. This is a novella. So in last week's reading vlog, we read book 4, which is Shadow Princess. And at the end of that, I said, I have to read 2 other books now, so I have to pause Zodiac Academy. Well, that's because I thought I was going right into book 5. I went back to the TikTok that I'm following that has the reading order that people suggest, and it said actually after book 4 to read this novella, which is technically 0.5. This order is the most confusing thing. And it's only like 90 something pages. So I was like, I can definitely do the novella, no problem. This will take me an hour. And then it wants me to go into The Awakening. I think that's what it was. The Awakening as Told by the Boys, which is 1.5. And it's basically the first book retold in the perspective of the boys. I'm thinking all the heirs plus Lance. I'm not sure on that. Anyways, the reading order suggested this. And then after that one to go into book 5. So I have a little bit of wiggle room. The first book was pretty short, so I maybe could sneak that in, but I don't know. Anyways, this video is just going to be centered around this novella. Sorry, there's a glare because the lights are on. This novella, it's like 90 pages. I have literally no clue who it's about, what it's about. I guess we'll see. And then just like a quick recap for people on my Zodiac journey, if you're curious what the reading order is that I've read so far. So I read Zodiac books 1, 2, and 3. Then I paused. Then I read the prequel series to Zodiac, which is the Ruthless Boys series, and I read books 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 just in their normal order, nothing crazy. I hated that series. If I'm being completely honest, I really did not like it, but I do see the value in it. Because then after Ruthless Boys, I went into Zodiac Academy book 4, which was Shadow Princess. And I feel like that part, reading Ruthless Boys, gave me a lot of background on Gabriel because he's in Zodiac. And some of the stuff that I learned about Gabriel helped me make the prediction that I think Gabriel is related to the twins. I still don't know if that's true or not. But I was able to put those together from context clues from that book or that series. Now, after book 4, it told me to jump back to the novella, which is technically 0.5, which we're going to read in this video, Origins of an Academy Bully. Then it told me to go into book 1.5, which is The Awakening as Told by the Boys, and then I'll go back to Zodiac book 5. And honestly, after that, I have no clue where I'm going with the reading order. I'm just trying to take it in little chunks because I will get overwhelmed. I know there's a few more novellas that I will be reading somewhere in this order. So I'm going to jump into this book. Before I start reading, I'm actually going to pull up the summary. I'll read you the summary of the book so you know what we're getting into. And then I will film any updates that come up, anything interesting that's happening in the novella. And then at the end, I'll give you my thoughts. Now, because this is a novella, I don't know how many like in-between clips I'm going to have. I don't know because it's so short. I might just jump back and I'll be like, I finished and here's what I think. But we'll see how it goes. So here is the book description so we know what we're getting into. Dark magic is forbidden at Zodiac Academy. That's why I hide it so well. But now I'm supposed to mentor Darius Acrux, the son of the most ruthless dragon shifter in Celeria. Okay, so clearly this is going to follow Lance, which is great because he's also in Ruthless Boys. We get to see him while he's a student at Zodiac Academy. He comes in periodically, but we still don't know a ton about his background, so I am really excited now to learn more. If he's caught using blood magic, he'll lose his claim to the throne. The problem is, our families are up to something and we're determined to find out what. No matter what dark power we must turn to, welcome to Zodiac Academy, where your star sign defines your destiny. As the Fae of the future, you will soon learn the merciless way to claim your power. Life among the vampires, shifters, and sirens is no easy ride, but if you can make it through your exams, you might just be able to harness your inner strength and earn your place among the elite. And it says, this is the prequel novella set 4 years before Zodiac Academy The Awakening, Book 1, in the Supernatural Bullies and Beasts series. I had no clue that it was called the Supernatural Bullies and Beasts series. That must be incorrect on Goodreads. Okay, so this is 4 years before Book 1 of Zodiac. So honestly, this is probably ending right after Warrior Fae. So that's what I'm thinking is the bridge between the two, because in Ruthless Boys, Lance is at Zodiac Academy, and he's only 8 years older than the twins. So this is probably in between. We actually might see what happened to his sister in this book and how she ended up going to the shadows. Okay, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I got my sweatshirt on. I got my blanket. I'm cozy. Let's jump in. Okay, so I'm literally second paragraph. Darius is 15 in this book, and his powers are just getting awakened because remember, the heirs awakened their powers way earlier than everyone else. So he's only 15 in this. I'm 54% through, so I figured I'd give you an update on what has happened so far. So it's told from Darius and Orion's perspectives, so it kind of rotates each chapter as a different one. This is taking place right after Darius and the other heirs have gone to Zodiac to be awakened. They're 14, 15, and he is spending a week at the academy with Orion as his mentor. Orion is a senior there, and he's just won the Pitbull championship. And because he won the championship, he's getting ready to go try out to join the league, which, because I've read the other Zodiac books, I know he doesn't actually end up doing. And this is why we're finding out. So his sister, after the match, tells him, you need to come work with the family. And him and his sister have always said that they were never going to follow in their parents' footsteps of working for Darius's family. And Orion's very confused why his sister has had a change of heart. Orion and Darius decide that they're going to follow Clara and see what she's up to and why she all of a sudden has had this change of heart. So they follow her to this barn, and Darius lets Orion ride on him as a dragon, which is a big no-no, and it's just a way to get back at his dad. But it was funny because in Shadow Princess he let Tori ride on him, and I thought that was the first time he had done that, but no, he's done it with Lance. So they go to the barn and they see that Clara is meeting up with Lionel, Darius's dad, and they're very confused why she is working directly with him, and then they disappear into this cellar. Oh, and Lionel lets Clara feed from him, and Darius is very confused because he's my dad has always told me do not let vampires drink from you, don't let the sirens near you. It's weird that he is allowing this. Orion's mission is to figure out what is going on with his sister, and Darius is I'll help you, I'm here. So they go to the cave and they do dark magic, and Orion introduces Darius to dark magic for the first time, and Darius willingly gives him his blood so they can figure out the spell. And the bones or whatever basically tell them death is coming, and Orion's this is much bigger than my sister. So now they are trying to figure out what is going on with Clara. That's where we're at in that. And then this is also where Darius has just met his cousin Mildred for the first time and found out that he is expected to marry her, and he is not about it. So that's just like a fun thing in this book, because in the other Zodiac books, the other heirs are always like giving him shit about that. Like, oh, your cousin Mildred that you're gonna go marry, and she's like not very attractive. So we just had the scene where he meets her at dinner and he was like, I am not marrying you. You are my cousin. And they're like, there are not a lot of female dragons. You will marry her unless you find someone better. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna keep reading, and I think I have like 30 minutes left of this, so I'll finish this soon. This dinner party has gotten absolutely crazy. After Darius runs off, he's been told he's marrying his cousin. Lance chases after him, and then Lance ends up getting trapped by Lionel, who basically tells him, like, yeah, I know you just graduated and you think you're gonna go try out and be a pitball player, but you need to get in line. Like, your life has been determined before you like even had conscious thoughts. Like, back when you were a baby, your mother and I decided that this is the path you're going to be on. You're going to come join with the family, and you're going to be Darius's guardian. And he's like, I don't want to be like, I'm happy to be his friend and look out for him, but I don't need to be anything more than that. And Lionel basically forces him, and he like puts his hands on both of them, and Lance is saying, no, I don't want this, I don't want this. His mother does not care, she's forcing it. And even Darius is like, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And Lionel proceeds and does the spell, makes Lance Darius's guardian, which means he has to go wherever Darius goes, which means all of his hopes and dreams of being a pitball player were just smashed. It is crazy that like all these events that like we knew about from Zodiac, how short of a time span they happen in. This all happens in the same week, where Darius is awakened, he goes to stay at Zodiac, he uses dark magic for the first time. Lance figures out something's going on with Clara. Darius is told he's going to marry his cousin. Lance becomes Darius's guardian, and then they're saying tonight he's going to find out what the deal is with Clara. So I'm assuming that's when she goes to the shadows. So this all happens like in the course of a few days, which is wild. I have like 20 minutes left. I'm going to go finish. Okay, I just finished. Honestly, probably like a 3-star. It was nothing amazing. Honestly, I feel like this would not be the best choice to start with. It's book 0.5, but I feel like it's so it would be really confusing if you didn't know these people or what the story was about. So I like that I read it at this point because I get more insight into what happened with Clara. But yeah, like 3, nothing really monumental. You just find out that she was pulled into the ritual. She went into like the stardust, and she started bleeding out. Like, it just like overpowered her body, and pretty instantly they knew she had died. And Lance's mom is like upset, crying, you know, she wanted this, but upset. And then Lionel's just like, we failed, and doesn't care that this girl had just died. And it's very obvious that she was manipulated into doing this. I wouldn't have been surprised if Lance's father was killed trying to do something similar to this ritual. And then at the end, we see it's like 2 months post Clara's death, and Lance basically just didn't try out for the pitball team because he was dealing with too much grief, and he missed his like opportunity. They only give you 1 shot, so that's why. And then Zodiac was actually giving him money for an apartment because they felt like he brought a lot of publicity to the school during his time there, so they paid him out. That was weird. And then they offered him a teaching position because he was, I guess, secretly a nerd at the same time. And so that's how he ends up at Zodiac. I thought Lionel had bought his spot there, and basically Orion says to Darius, I'll go to Zodiac, I'll teach you everything I know. And Darius is like, so you mean dark magic? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, and we are going to take your dad down. So it's revenge on Orion's part for his sister of why he wants to train Darius to be the most powerful, and then Darius just hates his dad. So it was all stuff we knew. It was just like you filled in a couple missing gaps that were there from the first 4 books I've read now of the series. So it was good. Honestly, I think you could skip it if you didn't want to read it, but it was like 90 pages. I think it took me a little over an hour. It wasn't a huge commitment. But yeah, 3 stars. So that's gonna wrap up this reading vlog. I'll be back with the next book. And make sure you subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you've read this book, if you've read the Zodiac series. Let me know what you're thinking of it, and I'll see you in the next one.